been on here for ages. Well, I actually did 2 or 3 videos over the last couple of weeks, but I've never put any of them up. I didn't, I don't know, I just done them and then thought, nah, content's a bit touchy. And I get shadow banned enough as it is, you know. I mean, I don't care about, like, you know, anybody's opinion on anything. I'm not bothered about, like, you know, all of these people that go and attack you online or any of that. I don't care about that, but, you know, at least I want the content to get seen by more people. Oh, the road is closed. I did not know that. I have to go all the way back here again. Huh. Well, there you go. So, there's a lot going on in the financial world right now, which is what we should all be looking at and paying attention to, you know, rather than watching the arrest of, like, our Donald Trump, you know, and all of the pantomime that's going on, and bloody Biden going and talking about ridiculous things in Ireland and whatnot. Oh my God, can you imagine? It's like a it's like one of them crazy funny soap operas, you know, but all it is a distraction, while they're actually creating something else to go on behind you. And, you know, looking over to your left, seeing you know, all of the Kardashians and the Biden craziness and Donald Trump getting arrested and all that rubbish, you know. The financial world is collapsing left, right and centre. The whole Eastern world is de-dollarizing as we speak. Is that part of the pantomime, or are they really actually trying to break away from the cabal? I'm still trying to work it out, you know. I'm having a game of football here in the middle of the road. Anyway, this is a bit of a rough part of town here. I used to live just behind that street there, all running around with shotguns and all sorts. But anyway, yeah, so like more and more of the eastern side, or the Middle Eastern even side of the world, are like getting rid of the dollar, you know. And Africa is really starting to stand up as a continent. I mean, on many different countries, but as a continent, it's starting to really stand up for itself and go against colonization, you know, not obviously just about like the dollar, but everything. And you know, the banking crisis goes on and on. Do you know who Warren Buffett is? I hope probably most of you will know who Warren Buffett is. Now, Warren Buffett has been, well, let's just call him the co-owner, really, because one of the biggest investors in a lot of these banks, including JP Morgan and Wells Fargo, you know, like major banks, talking about major investment, major ownership, right, from him. He sold it all, right? He no longer has any shares in any of them banks. Not one, nothing. So what does he know that we should be knowing then, eh? If that doesn't tell you something, right? Warren Buffett, the richest man in the world, and he's just got rid of every single share in any bank. Wow. So something major is going on. Then, I can't remember the name now, it slips my mind. One of the biggest asset managers in Europe has just shorted the NatWest Bank in the UK. So shorted means they're expecting it to go down. All right. Can you remember when Theresa May, she actually destroyed like the economy, like for her 1.5 days that she was like prime minister or whatever it was. And the guy with a funny name, something like, I don't know, Kwasi Kwarteng or something like that, right? And I had their meetings with all of the stockbroker guys, you know, and they'd shorted the pound. So when they destroyed the economy, right, and he had a meeting, champagne meeting after it as well, where they'd all made millions on shorting it so it drops. Okay? And it wasn't suspicious in any way whatsoever, was it? But anyway, so this major asset management company shorted the NatWest Bank here. So they're expecting it to collapse. All right? And they will make a fortune when it collapses. It's like, if you have a lot of money in the bank, move it somewhere else. Do something else with it. Get it out of there. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, if you go and buy a ton of gold and silver, the worst case scenario, there's always be somewhere where you can sell the gold and silver again. If they take all of your money out of your bank, if they do a bail-in, you know, what you get back will be, if lucky to get anything back, but you know, it will be next to nothing compared to what you had in there. All right, just have a look what's going on. At the same time, you know, like all of these banks that I was talking about, Wells Fargo and JP Morgan, all the major banks, you know, like in the United States, they've been like pushing the fraud side of cryptocurrency, you know, how bad it is, how dangerous it is, it's all a fraud, blockchain technology isn't going to take off, blah 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 blah. They have been moving all of their major investments into the blockchain technology, distributed ledger technology, and what are you doing? Right. And cryptocurrency of one kind or another. So we are moving into a digital world. So right now we are seeing the whole world is changing. We are moving from Web 2.0 into Web 3.0. We are moving from industrial to technological. Like it or not, AI, which I'm going to tell you a little bit about in a second, is taking over everything. Everything is turning into AI. Like if you look at some of the designs and stuff that you can get by typing 2 or 3 words or speaking 2 or 3 words into a bit of AI software, and it comes back with the most amazing artwork, pictures, logos, whatever you want. So graphic designers are basically going to be out of a job, man. Or like, well, they are, you know, you'll be able to do it all yourself, or you'll get somebody that can actually do it instead of doing, like, you know, hours and hours and hours and days and days and days to design an image. You'll do it in seconds, and then be able to sell that to other, you know. But like the days of having loads of that type of work is gone. You know, jobs are going to start disappearing left, right and centre. It isn't just going to be Amazon who's sacking everybody out of their warehouses and their call centres. This chat GPT or whatever it's called, you know, they are going to be running all of these contact centres. You're never going to speak to a human again. You're never going to speak to man or woman again. It's all going to be AI. You know, so get ready, man. So all these people that work in call centres, it's all going to be disappearing as we move into the robot era. And it is happening, be it good, be it bad, you know, what's going on. So is the actual eastern side of the world, are they going to like completely ruin the dollar and the evilness of the cabal? Is it really? I mean, or are they all just in the same game? They're just swapping it round and having a bit of juggle about because they're still all the controllers, you know, of the planet. I do believe that. I do believe we're all controlled. But I mean, have they got some kind of free will where they just sit back and laugh? Like you've seen that, you know, Jason and the Argonauts chasing after the Golden Fleece. That's a film from, like, I think the 80s, 70s or 80s, and it showed you the pictures of the gods above just laughing, you know, and saying, let's pitch this battle over here and see what happens to Jason, and just laughing about it, you know. So maybe that's what it is as well. We don't know. I know that we're in a realm that's been designed by default to be horrible, you know, and we have to survive in it and learn our lessons in it and move on, or come back again because you haven't done a good enough job of learning how to be better, a better soul. So they send your soul back again. Do it again, you. Not good enough. Must try harder, it says on the school report. I had a lot of them. But anyway, so the we know, if you've been watching, that let's go back to the Bretton Woods Agreement, 1944. Bretton Woods Agreement. So we're starting off with creating the Bank of International Settlements, and all these 200 odd, more than 200 I think, countries that now were backing their currency, their country's currency, with the dollar. And then the dollar was backing their currency with gold. So in relation, we were all backed by gold in a way, at $35 an ounce, I do believe. And you know, then obviously, like the United States, funnily enough, started abusing their position as the reserve currency of the world in all of these countries, and started dishing out way more dollars than they had gold. And you know, the old French president Charles de Gaulle, was it de Gaulle? I think so. But anyway, like, he started calling them out. And the president at the time, funny name, like something like Pompidou or something like that, he sent a warship over to the United States full of US dollars to get their gold back, which they did in 1971. And then, surprisingly enough, Nixon then cut off the gold standard so they could no longer trade their dollars in for gold. All right, that was in 1971, and ever since then we have a 100% zero currency backed by nothing. Remember, the pound is backed by the dollar, and the dollar was backed by gold. Now it's backed by, well, it was backed by nothing, and then they backed it with oil, because they sent Henry Kissinger over to the OPEC countries, Saudi Arabia specifically, and promised them military backing if they sold not their oil in nothing but the dollar, hence the term petrodollar. So in essence, then the dollar's been backed by oil, and then the pound being backed by the dollar is kind of backed by oil. But now you're having all these countries, including Saudi, right, which is at the same day that the United States pulled out of Afghanistan and left everyone to die, their own people I mean, and destroyed everything. Just such a pig's ear. I think, again, a distraction. Watch that while we don't pay attention to the fact that Saudi Arabia have now decided to sell their oil to the yuan in China, which is then redeemable immediately for gold on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange. Yeah. So then all the other countries are actually doing it. All the huge OPEC countries that are making most of the oil, they're all selling it now to like China and Russia, and they're backed by Russia, backed militarily by Russia now, not the United States. So it's swapping, you know. They are losing the control of everything, the United States. So it's very interesting. But that is going to bring about the collapse of the fiat currency. The collapse of the dollar is going to be the collapse of the pound, or any other that haven't already moved away, and the East have moved away. They're not reliant on the dollar. A lot of African countries, it's actually, you can go to jail by trying to use a dollar, you know. But what is it going to do to here? It's going to be very interesting. So I hope that you've been studying the cryptocurrency, you've been buying your gold and silver, and you're only leaving enough money in to kind of cover any bills. Because things are happening, and it's going to start happening very fast, and the dollar is going to collapse. Believe you me, the dollar is going to collapse. So anyway, just thought I'd cheer you up. I'm going to do another video later on. Alright, this is Friday, can't remember what date it is. But it's, well, getting close to my birthday. But anyway, take care. See you in a bit.